Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd give you a little snapshot of the sunrise that's happening here. My name is Helena Holrick. This is a shiny shove, a push, a prod, a nudge to head you in the right direction to help you have a better day. And today's is really all about that thing that happens when you know there's something you need to do and you're kind of struggling with it anyway, and then a goalpost changes or something gets in your way or it just feels too hard, and what you can do about that, because 9 times out of 10 something like that still needs to happen because you've either made a promise or you know it'll be good for you in the long run. Going to the gym springs to mind, that sort of thing. So, doing what you need to do, even in the face of a change, can mean that you sometimes need to sit back and reevaluate it. Is it still worth doing? Why am I doing it? How did I come to the decision to do it? And if it's 9 times out of 10, something that changes is not in your control, or at least has been enforced from the outside on you, and you now need to make peace with how that works. So there are a couple of things you can do as far as I'm concerned. There are a couple of things that you should do and a couple of things that you can do. Because here's the thing, we always have a choice. And sometimes that choice, as Viktor Frankl said, sometimes that choice is only the attitude with which we do the thing that we now have to do. My hope is that for you that decision isn't as stark as that, but that is the first point of choice. The second thing is that when something happens that changes what it is that you're doing, one of the first things you need to do is actually make peace with the emotions. And the way to do that is not to shove them aside. It's more to actually go, okay, wow, this has happened. What's going on for me now? That's a really great question. So what's going on for me now includes you kind of scanning mental, physical, emotional, spiritually inside of you, and just going, okay, how am I doing around this? What's the impact going to be on me physically, practically? What's the impact on me right here in this moment as I've heard what the change is? Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I disappointed? Am I satisfied? Am I excited? There's going to be some kind of core emotion that you may or may not need to work through or accommodate as you then continue, because here's the thing, continuing to do the thing that you said you were going to do is still a choice, because at that point when something changes you still have a choice. You can either go, yes, I will continue, or no, actually I'm not going to continue. So the first thing is to do that scan and go, okay, what are the impacts on me physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. The emotional one is quite an interesting one, because the emotions like to make decisions in order, especially if they're bad ones. There are no bad emotions, but we won't go into that. That's another shove. But so once you actually kind of deal with those, because those can influence a lot of your decision making and may not have the full picture. It's a bit like the emotions are the 3-year-old that's having a tantrum in the shop, where everything else is kind of going, nah, I reckon we can cope with this. So when you check in with the physical practical, what will happen as a result of you continuing to do the thing that you've been asked to do, or that you have chosen to do? The practical implications of it. Will it add more time? Will it take more energy? Will it take more money? Will the resources be pulled away from you, etc.? On a mental level, does this now take up space that is crowding you? That is all the more reason to go through this, because what you want to do is you want to have a clean decision of, I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to do it and there are caveats to me doing that, or indeed I'm not going to do it unless X, Y, and Z. So your mind actually needs to be allowed to think through all of the options without the emotions kind of playing on them. So get really practical, get really factual, and that's where you can use the physical and the practical to really help you get clear in the mind about what is now the decision at play. The final piece is spiritually. There may well be something that you are doing this for. Maybe it's related to your purpose. Maybe it's related to a promise that actually means that whatever the other facts and emotions and mental states are, that you still actually choose to do the thing, even if it's hard, because it is absolutely aligned for you to do that. And sometimes actually finding that piece and going a little bit higher is the key to you continuing with the thing that you've been asked to do, or the thing that you've chosen to do. Remember, at the end of the day, it's our choice to do with our time, energy, attention, resources, money, what we wish to do. And so your job, in order to enjoy this thing, rather than make it a drudgery or a piece of servitude rather than service, is to absolutely find a reason to still choose it, or find a way to say you're not going to do it anymore unless X, Y, and Z happens, or indeed just say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I know at least a couple of people who've been in those decision points over the last week or so. I honour you tremendously, because it does put you in turmoil, and it does actually distract you and make you less clear-headed. So the key to this is to step back and absolutely support yourself by doing that physical, mental, emotional, spiritual scan. And then go do the thing that you want to do, whether that's not doing it or doing it, if that makes sense. Have a brilliant, wonderful, amazing day in the face of the choices that you're making, and I will catch you tomorrow.